I'm Nick Calamaro, I'm 25. I grew up here in Gibraltar, lived here all my life, so I did a short stint at university and in South America, and I never thought politics could be for me, at least not in Gibraltar. And it's a real shame because I've always really cared about politics and really cared about making a difference. But growing up, I just assumed that unless you were in one of the big law firms or in one of the main parties, then it just wasn't for you. And that was such a shame because I grew up with so many young people that really wanted to make a difference and just saw the same message and just gave up and either moved away or just decided that they should accept the way things are. Which is why I was so glad to find Together Gibraltar, because I feel like they really gave me a home, somewhere where I felt like you weren't constrained to the way things have always been, where you really could make a difference no matter your background. I've been involved with Together Gibraltar since it was a movement and been on the executive since when it became a party. And so I'm really excited to put my name forward as a candidate. I really identify with the values of honesty and accountability in government. That's really important to me, so making sure that we all see that our politicians are working in the interests of all of us. I think they've got a real focus on a progressive, forward-thinking agenda. I really identify with the green agenda that we've put forward that makes sure that the climate is going to be at the centre of all of our policies. I really associate with the focus that we've put on the public sector, so people can develop their roles professionally, so they can feel like they get to really make a difference to Gibraltar, because that's what I've always wanted to do. I think transparency is a really core message to all of us here at Together Gibraltar, and I want to put my stamp on and make sure that politicians are accountable to you and to all of us to make sure that we're all acting in the same interests. So I do think my background's given me a lot of experience that would help me as a candidate in technology and project management, help me really develop progressive and forward-thinking policies that Gibraltar needs. But skills can only take you so far, and the one thing I've always been most proud of is that in any role, being able to manage a team in a way that everyone can give their best input, that makes sure everyone's voice is being heard. And I think in politics that's even more important, because you don't just have to work with your fellow MPs, you have to work with all the ministries and public servants. Really, you should be working with all Gibraltarians and even the opposition. And that's why we're so excited to get involved with Together Gibraltar, because I feel like we're really spreading the message that politics shouldn't be about being on different sides. We should all be on the same side. And I hope that as a candidate I can do my part to make sure that we all really work together and represent the interests of all of us as Gibraltarians. So I think what Together Gibraltar can provide, and what I hope I can provide, is a sense of real humility, and that government shouldn't just be about politicians dictating what they think is best, but actually listening to the community, learning from the members of the community that know what they need. But listening is the easy part, that any politician can promise you. What I think we're here to do is take that input and take real action. Had a real keen interest in working with members of the community, working with stakeholders, researching, seeing the real changes we can make for Gibraltar. And it doesn't mean we can't be ambitious. I've seen that if we just sit down and work together and develop policies that care about all Gibraltarians, not just the interests of a few, we can make a real difference. We can be a real leader in the world in so many areas. My vision for Gibraltar has always been that we should be an example to the world, because in so many ways we already are. We always punch above our weight, whether it's in the arts, in sports, in the way we conduct our economy, and more than anything, in a way in which we have such a tolerant society, where no matter your background, you can find a place in Gibraltar. So I think it's a shame that we don't hold ourselves to that standard in politics. I think we definitely could be a world leader in innovation, in terms of caring about our climate, in terms of equality. There's still so much work that needs to be done, in terms of LGBT rights, in terms of pensions. These are all things that affect real Gibraltarians, and I think is something that we should hold politicians to account on. And I think we can achieve that vision, where Gibraltar is a real world leader, where we're not reliant on a small sector of industries, where we have a booming tourist sector, where we're full of innovation and entrepreneurship, where we have the greenest, most successful public transport system, and that we can all be really proud of and point to as an example of look what we can do when we work together. That's the Gibraltar I believe in.